Welcome, Street Talking Other Stuff. Mad Dog Mike 90. Thanks for tuning in on this fine June morning. Nice to have you here. Appreciate it. And this, if you're familiar with the things I've said in the past, I love this time of year. The weather's great. Sky is blue. You love me and I love you. But look, I got a good show for you today, but just a couple things beforehand. I was remembering, this being vacation weather, this oddball memory came up to me today. I was in school once, and when I was a kid, and the teacher was teaching us different phrases, and she said, Mike, use the phrase letter carrier in a sentence. And I said, okay. I said, well, my dad saw all the crap my mom wanted to take on vacation. He said he was going to let her carry her own baggage.
That's so bad.
Okay, and my wife recently, back in October, well, not recently, but she had a medical issue that my son flew in from Taiwan, okay, came to see her. And somebody said, oh, are you going to meet him at the airport? And I said, no, I've known him for years.
That's so bad, Mike.
And so when he got here, I said, oh, I heard your wife's family went on vacation. Where'd they go? He said, Alaska. I said, okay, fine, I'll ask her myself.
Can I go home now?
No, that's my guest. He should be quiet, but it's not. But look, it's going to kind of be an interesting show today, but we're going to tell you more in a minute, but we're going to take a quick break, but stick around. You're going to love this one. Street Talking Other Stuff. We will be right back. So.
My favorite thing about living at Prestige is the activities. I think it's just so good for you to have a group that you can have fun with.
I think if you keep moving and you have a social life, you're going to live longer. And that attitude is fostered by the activity director and the managers. It's a good place, it's a happy place, and it's where I plan to stay forever.
Me too.
Hey, hon, would you run this around to the wash rack?
Oh, okay.
Hey, hon, what happened?
They shrunk the truck.
The all-new mid-size Canyon is now available at Sangster Motors.
Since 1932, Camp Seneca, nestled on the beautiful shores of Lake Wenatchee, has provided children grades 1 through 12 with the ideal location for kids to learn new skills, have fun, and make friends while creating memories that will last a lifetime. Camp Seneca's rustic log cabins and their staff serve to provide each group a unique summer camp experience. Register for Camp Seneca today, www.campfirencw.org.
Hey, welcome back to Save Mart. What can we help you find today?
We're looking for a mattress.
Oh, right this way. We got a large selection. We have this pillow top here.
Oh, comfortable.
We have more to choose from down here.
Oh.
I think I have the perfect one over here for you.
I guess we'll take this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Okay, we're back, and I'm somewhat happy to introduce my guest, who may be familiar to some of you, Dan Kuntz. Dan, nice to have you.
It's good to see you, my friend.
Dan is, you may not know this, but Dan is host of his own TV show, Wake Up When
What do you mean they might not know this?
Well, I know people tune in, and they say, I see your opinion on what's that show?
They know who I am.
And they say to me, they come up to me and say, oh, what's your opinion?
They know who I am.
Yeah, they do. But look, how long have we been friends? I mean, it's been a long time.
Back to the radio days.
Exactly,
I would say Solomon in the Morning in the 90s.
Exactly.
When you used to come in once a week.
I did once a week, something called Cop Talk.
Yep.
Because I did talked about police-related things. This is when you were at KPQ, okay. And then you went to the Quake, and I was coming on to Dan Solom's show in the morning. Then
I would come by every once in a while.
Come by to the Quake.
Sure,
we do something on a weekly basis. It was good. It was cool. It was
a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
A lot of jokes. A lot of goofing off.
We did. We'd had a great time. Now this is something Dan and I. It's like my friend Vinny, one of my rad buddies. Whenever we're together, we laugh. Okay, and that's cool. So
we played a couple of great practical jokes. I remember the one that we did to Larry Roberts, the president of Sunbrook Communications, Fisher Broadcasting.
I don't remember.
He was in town for the weekend, and we creatively figured out a way for you to pull him over. He was staying like at the old Red Lion or whatever.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah,
you just laid and wait for Larry to get in his Cadillac. And Larry's going to be in town in a couple of weeks, by the way.
Well, I can't help you with that.
Yeah. No, we're having a little reunion.
You know, it's funny. People always thought that, pull my boyfriend over. Or go in and arrest my friend. That stuff never worked.
No, it never does.
People get mad, but it only worked one time. A friend of mine was Hispanic, okay, and she was having a birthday party for her sister, and she wanted me to come in and arrest her sister, okay. So I walk into the party, and it's, there's Anglos and there's Hispanics, they're about an even mix, and I walk in with an attitude, and I'm looking, you know how cops are sometimes, So I walk in and I look around there, then they're silent. They look at me and I look at this, and I walk through I have to walk through this big room, tons of people. I said, I'm looking for so-and-so. And this Hispanic gets a gal up, and her toot is matching mine, okay? She gets up, what do you want? I said, there's a warrant for your arrest for looking younger than your biological age. And everybody cracked up. Everybody died. That was the only time. That's the only time that worked.
We pulled a good one, Randy Chapman.
Yeah, I remember Randy.
Yep.
Officer, this is civil, ma'am.
Yep. Randy was just a great guy. He was the PIO at the police department at the time.
I think he was for a while.
When we did this little joke, he came into the KPQ studios in the very back room in the fallout shelter where my office was to record some PSAs. And it was just about the noon hour, and we were done, and he wanted to go to eat at Sirocco's when it was still open.
Sure, I
between
remember
the theaters.
Sirocco's, good place.
So he's what is it, take 7? Is that what when you take lunch?
Took a 7, yeah.
Took a 7.
I'll be on my 7.
And he goes, you want to go do lunch? I said, sure, I got an hour to kill. And so we concocted this deal where he arrested me. And of course, we're in the very far back of the building, so we have to walk down the entire hallway, all the way down. And it was the noon hour, so there was a lot of activity going on. The salespeople were at their cubicles, and we sold it. I mean,
I'm sure people will say it's about time.
Yeah.
I expected this to happen a long time ago.
I had my head down, and I was morose and depressed.
You're doing the perp walk.
Oh, yeah, and Randy's walking me, he's got his hand on my back, and he's parked right in front of the station. Everybody can see me, and he keep your head down, he puts me in the back seat, and I'm looking like, oh, geez, And they bought it. They bought the whole thing. Then we went to lunch to Sirocco's and came back, and everything was fine.
Well, my daughter was reminding me of something I did, but I did this with both her and my son. I was driving and I saw she was stopped at the Safeway gas station, okay? So I pull in and I get on the P there, you, the yellow Volkswagen, hands in the air. Oh, God. No, right, I mean it. And everyone, of course, is like this, She finally goes like this, and I say, okay, she's my daughter.
And you should have said something like,
everybody laughed, but her.
You should have done, now do jumping jacks. That's what I would have done.
Okay, look, we're having a great time, and thanks for tuning in. But here's the thing. If you check Facebook, you would see that I was going to have Lonnie Walls from the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council on today to talk about their new food distribution system. And Lonnie, unfortunately, is ill. Lonnie, I hope you're watching. He's probably going, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? I screwed everything up. And he's probably watching in bed right now going, oh, they're having a lot of fun. I should have come in. But we did want to talk about it, and I invited Dan to come on as my guest because Dan actually interviewed Alan.
I've interviewed Alan Walker a number of times at the new campus, the new facility out there where what nursery used to be?
C&O Nursery
used to be.
Yeah. Now Dan and I have both been out to this new facility, so I thought it'd be cool to have him on so we could talk about it. But Community Action Center has been at Cascade and Lewis Street for years. I mean, they're my neighbor. They're right down the street. And I remember back when I moved back to Wenatchee back in the 80s, they were there. But to find out they've actually been there since I think about 1965.
That's when it started. It was part of the Lyndon Johnson's Great Society. That was the funding of it.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council dates back to the Great Society with the original seed money, and like, this is get you going. From this point forward, you're kind of on your own, and it's still here.
Okay, but it's been a good service,
Oh, yeah.
consistent service to the community, and they have a food distribution program that they're moving from the Lewis and Cascade Street to the old C&O Nursery, and I believe it's at the 1700 block in North Wenatchee.
Right behind Jet Pro Auto Wash.
Right.
It's off the street a little bit, so it's easy to drive by and miss it.
Right, but it is it's beautiful. I mean, I went out and I toured it myself. You did. You did. I mean, Community Action is going to move their whole operation out there. And I looked through the amount of space they have, the storage that they have. They've already got some foodstuffs in. And they have a huge freezer, a huge walk-in cooler. But they've got this very, very beautiful space where it's just like a grocery store, but it's brightly lit, it's attractive, it's set up well. And anybody can come in, and you're allowed a certain number of points, and I don't know how they allocate the points.
It works like cash, essentially.
Right.
But I don't know X amount of points, I think a month or whatever it is.
Right, and I don't know if they decide you get 50 points and I get 75 because I'm better looking than you or something like that.
Okay, well then I would get 100. It's all based on need, of course.
Right, it is based on need.
And it serves everybody. It's not just the Wenatchee, East Wenatchee area. They serve folks from all over the north central Washington. They all come down here. And you should have seen the old facility. They were running out.
And I haven't.
It was behind Denny's, and again, it was an old cold storage facility. But it was small, it was cramped, it was dimly lit. You talked about that big walk-in cooler. Their walk-in cooler was about the size of the studio. And in case you don't know, it's a small studio. Right. Now they have the really big cooler, and they have the ginormous Sub-Zero freezer, which keeps food fresh forever. It badly needed. And of course, the need is there too. I mean, that's the big thing. But this new facility is phenomenal.
But it's just beautiful. I don't know exactly when it's going to open. I think that Alan said possibly by the end of the month.
They're kind of they're AmeriCorps people who work with Alan. The AmeriCorps folks. Most of them have moved actually to the new campus there. Alan hasn't quite moved yet. So it's a long process, but I think most of
still refurbishing the offices.
I think most of the food distribution is there now at the new campus.
Well, the store, for a simpler term to call it that looked ready to go. You know, all the shelves were stocked, the freezer was stocked, and it's interesting. They have little labels on the items. For example, the large 2-gallon jugs of juice. There's a little sign that says, except infrequently or rarely, because you don't need all that much juice all the time. But if you go over to the canned vegetables, it says except regularly or frequently, because these are the things that are healthy selections for people that
and they have
need a little
big
more
turnover too.
Yeah,
they're
going to need a little more. You know, better for you to have more some of that stuff. But it's just, I mean, I was super impressed with. I mean, because when you walk in there. And if you're in need and you go in there, you're not going to feel like you're being condescended to. You're being, I mean, you just get this feeling that you're being treated with respect, that people recognize there's always a need for some folks.
Dignity was the word you're looking for.
Yeah, it was beautiful. And you could tell from the way I've interacted with Lonnie and with Alan, these people really care.
Sure.
You know?
Well, you have to do your job even halfway decently, you have to give a damn. I suppose that's the only skill set you need.
Sure. Well, it helps to know what you're doing.
That's
too,
true.
So.
That's true.
But then again, you being on the TV host, I'm not too sure you know that much.
I get paid to look good on television. Knowing what I'm talking about is secondary.
Okay, so you have interviewed Alan yourself. What is it? There's something else I want to mention that's important about that place, but. You know, what is your take on, on all this and that type of thing? I mean, what's really impressed you about this service, the Chelan Douglas Community Action
It's still
Council?
around.
Okay.
I mean, how many things that are government funded or government seeded are still around after, 60 years? Not a lot. I'm super glad they're moving into their new facility. Nothing wrong with the place on Lewis Street. It served it well, but it just it's outgrown its usefulness.
Right.
And with the tremendous amount of increase in the amount of food that they're handling now, which is so much more than it was even 10 years ago, and of course during COVID it was crazy.
Sure.
Now that is going to be this facility is going to serve them well for the next 50 years.
Right. I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, you should, if you get a chance, go out and take a look. I mean, you walk into that supermarket area, and I was like, wow, I would come shopping out here. But one thing I asked Alan while I was there, the issue with Lewis and Cascade Street, the bus stop is like a quarter of a mile away. And I know from working with some of my clients that are in need of food assistance, sometimes the distance it is to get to a place has been a challenge. Like one client I work with lived about 3/4 of a mile away from the Serve Wenatchee Valley. And Serve Wenatchee Valley does a great job as well. They have a similar system where you can go in and shop for what you need. And he said it was a challenge for him because he couldn't carry that much stuff back because he had to walk. So I asked Alan specifically, what about people getting to the facility and getting back? Because sometimes he says, well, we talked to Link. The Link bus stops right on the avenue in front. And we've even asked them if they would pull into the driveway. And he says right now they're not willing to do that, but it's within 100 yards walk. Okay, so it is going to be accessible to people. And trust me, you go out there and visit this facility, you're going to be impressed. Yeah. So. But okay, we need to take a break. Okay, and I want to thank Lonnie for turning me on to this. I apologize, buddy, that you're not feeling well. I hope you feel that we are doing this, this program that you have justice today. But we need to take a break. But Street Talk and other stuff, you stick around. We will be right back.
Downtown Wenatchee, something for everyone. If you're craving Asian comfort food, Steam Panda on Wenatchee Avenue is the restaurant to enjoy quality food. House-made soup, dumplings, sushi, ramen noodles, and salads to pair with your favorite boba tea. Stop by Steam Panda today.
Downtown is the heart of Wenatchee. Discover food and beverage spots, delightful shops, and countless services. For the latest on downtown arts, entertainment, and more, go to downtownwenatchee.org.
Downtown Wenatchee, it's all here.
Your home runs on hot water. From the kitchen, to the bath, to the laundry. So Rheem offers a wide variety of water heaters from traditional models to ones smart enough to tell you how much hot water is available. On second thought, perhaps the laundry can wait.
Call After Hours Plumbing for all your water heating needs.
Lifeline Ambulance has partnered with Wenatchee Valley Tech to provide EMT certification training within the high school. This opens up career opportunities in EMS, fire, and other medical fields, and gives these students a leg up when entering the workforce.
Students at Wenatchee Valley Tech, through our partnership with Lifeline Ambulance, can now earn their National Registry EMT certification.
Global Car Care has the best customer service in the Valley. From the moment you walk in the door, their goal is to help you stay on the road, so you can keep doing what's important to you. Global Car Care certified ASE mechanics stand behind your automotive repairs.
Okay, we're back. Street Talk and other stuff with my guest, Dan Kuntz. We're talking about the new Chelan Douglas Community Action Council food distribution system.
You got the name right.
Which is rare for me.
Yeah.
I'm inspired by you.
Thank you.
But let's move on to another topic, okay? You've been doing your morning show now it's been about 6-7 years, right?
July of 2016.
Yeah, because I started in December 2016.
So, this July, I can't remember the exact date. I'm usually gone on my anniversary. I'm usually on vacation. It'll be our 8th anniversary show will be coming up.
So, okay.
I'll wear a tuxedo. We'll have a live band. We'll show the video of Ed Ames throwing the hatchet, and everybody laughs. So I don't know what we're going to do.
But how do you get your guests, that type of stuff? I mean, this is a full-time job for you putting this show together.
No, it's most people, believe it or not, most people reach out to me.
Yeah,
now that we're out there, because we were on the first 6, 8 months we were doing Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, we weren't really telling anybody we were doing a show because we wanted to make all of our mistakes when nobody was watching, which seems to make sense. You know, that's the question. Do you do a big build-up for new local television? Because we were still feeling our way around.
Sure.
We decided, you know, with this show, with news, with sports, whatever it is that we're doing and broadcasting, that we would just kind of do a soft opening, so to speak, and see what happens, and that way, you know, we could make all of these mistakes without people.
But then you had a brilliant
watching.
stroke of genius about an addition to your show, right?
You were on for the very beginning, weren't you?
I was, yeah. Everyone's entitled to Mike McNally's opinion, Mike Mad Dog McNally's opinion.
Yeah, which is a carryover from our old days at KPQ, when you would come in and do your
Just
show.
come do the cop talk thing, and I'd go back to the station and get in trouble because of what I said.
Yeah.
So.
Gee, Mike got in trouble for something he said.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, people reach out to me. I am booked for my show, which is Street Talk and Other Stuff, this show right here, up until August. And I've got some really interesting people coming on. Next week, actually, 2 people, a director and an actor from the Music Theater of Wenatchee, upcoming production of the Laramie Project.
Which you're in.
Which I am in. I portray the Reverend Fred Phelps, and I'm going to do a good job to let people know how they really feel about something.
You play the heavy, not just a heavy.
Yes.
You play the heavy.
But this is going to be a great show. Of course, this is based on the 1998 murder of a young gay college student named Matthew Shepard. He was tortured and murdered in the environs of Laramie, Wyoming, and a theater company, the Teutonic Theater Company, went out and actually interviewed people in the town, interviewed friends, that type of thing. And this play doesn't come in and tell you what to think. It gives you a whole bunch of different, interpretations and people's impressions of stuff. And I'm telling people, I don't know how you feel about the subjects of gay folks in society, but come see the show. Tickets are at the America Pack, and make up your own mind. It's going to be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night, last weekend of the month with a matinee on Saturday.
Could you get away with this, say, 25 years ago here?
I don't think so.
Say that they wrote the play 25 years ago.
No, I don't think so, no. I remember when I started with the police force in 1986, we did have a gay population here, but they were very much underground. Okay? Very happy about the fact that it's not that way anymore. Gay Pride Festival is this Saturday at...
Right down the street, Memorial Park.
Memorial Park, exactly. And I know a lot of people, this pride thing and the rainbow is God. I don't know what the rainbow's for, but come on. I mean, these people have been subjected, persecuted, have been ostracized, condemned for years.
Are you still talking about the guests on your show?
Talking about the gay folks in our community. I'm just
did you
glad.
Go to last year's? They had like 4,000 people.
Right. I'm just
last
glad
year.
that
It was fantastic.
Things are going, and these people are kind.
Sure.
Okay, they're generous. But okay, all right. Enough of that. But hey, the Laramie Project, the end of this month, come see it. But also
Riverside Playhouse, right?
Riverside Playhouse, exactly, behind KPQ. I'm having a gal come on in a couple weeks who fosters kittens. Injured kittens who need to be taken care of for a while before a home can be found. A gal named TJ Farrell, good friend of mine, is going to come on. She's going to be talking about being a foster care person for kittens. Also, in a couple weeks, this is going to be interesting. For those of you who watch may know, my wife had a significant health issue back in October. And between a good friend of mine and a 9/11 dispatcher, they saved her life, okay? We have signed releases, so in a couple of weeks, that dispatcher and my friend are going to be my guests, and they're going to talk about that specific incident and how 9/11, Rivercom, is an essential part of life-saving efforts here in this community.
I wonder if there's any frustration.
That's going to be a good show.
Amongst the Rivercom folks, the dispatchers, and they're all good. My guess is, and you would know better than I do, but my guess is like 95% of the time, maybe 90% of the time, they have no idea what the final disposition is of a call that comes into them.
No, they don't, and that can be frustrating.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, Rosie and I were at Pybus a couple of weeks ago, and we had gone to the farmers market or whatever. And as we're getting in, a firefighter from the Chelan, I don't even know what they call it.
Wenatchee Valley Fire Department.
Wenatchee Valley Fire Department. Well, it's Chelan County Fire now. I don't know what
It's
they
the
call
Wenatchee
it.
Valley Fire Department.
Okay, all right.
Like the Chelan Douglas Action
A
Council.
guy I know, he looks at Mike. I said, yeah, how are you? And he came over, he said, Rosie, and he shook her hand. He said, I was there that day. And I can't tell you how it feels to see you sitting here, obviously healthy, doing well, et cetera, et cetera. And that was really cool. That was cool for Rosie and for...
I wish I could have done that with the UPS driver and the Wenatchee Police Department 4 or 5 summers ago. Yeah. UPS truck drops off some stuff right here. I'm backing out of my driveway and I'm waiting for the traffic to clear. And I thought the UPS truck had passed me.
Right.
He hadn't. He'd actually pulled right next to my driveway, and I backed right into it. We have it on video, as a matter of fact. Don't ask. And did a pretty good number on my Honda.
Okay.
Of course, the UPS rig was essentially
the
unharmed. We exchanged information. We called the not 911. We called the business line because it was not an emergency. And the Wenatchee police officer came. He was really good, very professional. I admitted it was my fault because it was my fault. I got a ticket for $125 or something like that. And I thought to myself a couple of days later, I should have the UPS guy and the Wenatchee police officer who answered the call and handled everything very professionally and very courteously, and myself, and we'll talk about what you should do in these kinds of situations.
Yeah, you should do that.
And I reached out to Chief Crown, who got a hold of the officer who I knew. He was all for it. Yeah, this is great, and I think it'd be very educational. And I reached out to the UPS driver, who actually lives, I want to say he lives in Odessa and drives to Wenatchee. This was a number of years ago. He might not anymore. Anyway, he was all for it, but his boss at UPS put the kibosh on it. And it was going to make UPS look good because he handled himself with aplomb and professionalism. And I thought this would be a really good, interesting conversation between myself, the UPS driver whose truck I hit, and the Wenatchee Police Department guy who handled the report. And we never came
to it. You can still have the cop on, And look, I will borrow a brown shirt and I'll put on a fake mustache and I'll pretend I'm the UPS guy.
Does your uniform even fit you anymore?
So, who do you have? No, it didn't fit me well when I retired. Oh, gosh. It's crazy. I keep having police dreams. And what's funny about them, in my dreams, I'm always retired, and I've been called back by Captain Murray to fill in because patrol is short. But it's like 7 o'clock in the morning, and I was supposed to be there for graveyard the night before, and I'm thinking, why the heck am I doing this? I hate working on graveyard. I don't need to be here, or I get the normal stuff in a dream. Can't find my gun, can't find my pants.
I know we're almost out of time, but I got to mention this real quick. Mike retired on St. Patrick's Day. He put in his 20 years. So Mike participated in the world's shortest parade at St. Patrick's Day. We covered it on KPQ, and this guy was feeling no pain that night. You were in rare form.
Okay, can I
for
tell
somebody
you,
who's always in rare form.
Can I tell you something?
What?
You've got me mixed up with somebody else.
No, you were in the...
Because first of all, I retired on Thanksgiving Day 2006.
You were in the parade. You denying you were not in the parade?
I do not remember that at all.
Well, there you
Maybe
go.
I don't,
I rest my case, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, Street Talk and other stuff. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to come back, and I'm going to say goodbye to my guest. Again, I want to thank Lonnie Walls for turning me on to this idea of talking about Chelan Douglas Community Action Council Food Distribution System. But we'll be back in a minute, but stick around. We will be right back.
A ductless unit from Carrier can keep anyone comfortable. Take Shelly, for instance. She finds me time in her new attic-turned-home gym. And with her Carrier ductless unit, the temperature is always perfect. No matter how intense her workout gets. Carrier. Total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air. Highlander Golf Course and Grill, located in East Wenatchee, offers terrific views and challenging play for golfers at every skill level. From the golf course to the grill, you don't need to be a member to dine in style and play golf too. Highlander's well-groomed fairways and greens keep it difficult, yet friendly for your regular rounds of golf or a new destination for you and your out-of-town friends. Contact the Highlander Pro Shop today to schedule your tee time, outing, or tournament. Open 7 days a week, where everyone is welcome to play and eat.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. I want to say thanks to Dan. Thanks for helping me out at this last minute. Appreciate that.
It's a half an hour I'll never get back.
Next week, a director and an actor from the upcoming music theater production of the Laramie Project will be my guest. Tune in. We'll see you then. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
America meeting the future stars of the sports world. We have 5-star prospects in both boys and girls basketball. And we'll also take you to Florida to meet the tallest teenager in the world. We'll introduce you to a pair of twin offensive linemen, and you'll also hear from former NBA All-Star LaMarcus Aldridge in our journey to greatness. That's all coming up next on Sports Stars of Tomorrow. Welcome to Sports Stars of Tomorrow. I'm your host, Charles Davis. We're going to tip off today's show in Arizona with a star player from one of the country's best programs. And that's this week's 5-Star Feature.